Welcome back to the daily meme coin FUD and attempt to really change the future of your bloodline and help you to make all this money in this market and not be wrong like most of them out there. But it's great that they're wrong because essentially this means that you would be able to make money if you're not following the herd here. So today we're talking about altcoins, we're talking about alt season. We'll also talk about current meme coin pump, and I will tell you what I think about this one as well. I will focus on the positions that were liquidated. I lost $20,000 in the last 8 to 10 hours, right? I will also share what type of positions I increased myself, and I will reiterate on thesis on building long positions currently and holding them as well, because I still see so many people trading. Even the largest people in the industry, they are trying to trade on leverage currently, which is, from my point of view, is very fucking stupid. Look at Carl the Moon, look at him making $5 million. He did not make $5 million in 1 month, in 4 weeks by trading. He entered the position, he held it, and when he thought that the top is in, he took profits. This is how you essentially should be playing this out. Not by trying to trade here and there. You're just heavily diminishing your upside. It's just crazy from my point of view. At this stage of the cycle, you should be entering long-term long positions and just holding them. But without further ado, let's start. Now, a very interesting thing happened on BTC yesterday. We almost had like this type of like scam weeks out there, because if you would check out yesterday price action, we went to $104,000 liquidating all the shorties, and then we had a week down to $90,000 liquidating all the longers on BTC. It's quite interesting that despite the fact range of altcoins, they essentially follow this price movement on BTC. Some of them, they did not show like any type of movement in this huge Bitcoin week. And first of them is obviously Sui, from the largest one. Like it did not care much about this week, right? And it is at all-time highs currently. Do you understand? It's at all-time highs currently, which is crazy, which is just crazy if you think about that. And you might be thinking, yeah, like it's at $4. It already did like how many 8x's, 7x's from the bottom. But in a year from now, if you would tell anyone that you actually bought Sui at $4, I think you would be seen as a hero, right? Especially if you're essentially low leverage all in this thing. But it's not my pick at this stage, right? I just don't like my personal upside because I like to be playing it a bit more degen, right? But we'll see what will be happening with this one. I think that Sui should be coming to $8. Mavia, a very interesting thing that I essentially was sharing a lot on this channel. I initially shared it at 1.3 bucks out there, I think, right? So exactly at the bottom before the pump. And since then, we're seeing crazy price action on this thing. I want you to understand the current situation. This is why this strategy will actually yield. Because imagine people entering somewhere here, being forced to see it through whole this thing with high leverage, right? So it's stressful by itself to be able to see through all these like pumps and dumps and like just this crazy sideways action on leverage, on high leverage, especially if your liquidation point is lower, and then getting liquidated. This is something that actually happened to me on my late long. I got liquidated out of $15,000 in the last pretty much 6 hours only on Mavia out there, right? So it's very stressful. It's a very crazy experience, and this is why I think like most people, they tend to trade leverage loan, but money are not made in trading. Like you can also check out Ran from Crypto Bunter, who longed Solana at $13, and he pretty much held the loan through the whole cycle till this time. I do think that he's holding still. Most of you will just close the trade in 2 to 3x and go buy something else, right? It's just crazy. This is how you make money. You buy on spot and you hold, but with these coins, we have such tool as leverage, right? One thing I don't like with Heroes of Mavia, if we would essentially check it out locally, is the fact that we broke through key level out there, right here, this one, 1.97. We should not be at these levels currently. It's definitely a bearish structure at this stage. We have our support at 185. I do think that worst that might happen is 175 out there, right? 1.6, 175, yeah, it would be just crazy, right? But still, my liquidation points from my early longs, they are lower. So I'm just holding these things, and actually I added some more leverage into one of my older positions, right? Unfortunately, they're maxed out. Most of them, they're maxed out already, so I can't add because they're maxed out, but one of them I did have a bit of space there, so I added a 25k as a long position, which only took me like 2k on 15x leverage or something, which is crazy if you think about that. Like, it's 25k exposure to the asset, and there is a high chance that it's illiquidatable at this stage because I essentially longed earlier, right? It only will be liquidatable if the market is reversing and we're going lower, right? I don't think so. I don't think that. We'll also talk about the meme coin and also talk about the Bitcoin dominance as well. Blast is something interesting. It did have a pumpage yesterday. I mentioned it on my video. I told you that Blast is the most underperforming altcoin currently. Even at these stages, it only did like a 2x from the bottom, which is crazy if you think about that. But Mavia is actually kind of the same. I do think that my largest long leverage positions are the two most underperforming altcoins at this stage. So we'll see how it will turn out on the long enough time frame, right? It's interesting that initially Blast loan was called at 0.78 in our private Discord at this level. One of the analysts, he actually recalled it at this stage with the liquidation point below this week, so at this level. And if you think about that, this is a crazy good leverage loan, right? So to the tops, it's 30%. And guys, one more time, I strongly want to push this thought into, like, it's almost like I'm brainwashing you into making money in this market. Good money, big money. I'm making like 20k a day, I'm losing 20k a day, I don't care. Currently, it's all about building positions out there. It's about increasing the leverage exposure that you have to the market, ideally with an option, with the whole goal of being illiquidatable, which means that your assets, they should go higher from your liquidation points, and then over time you'll be able to add into your longs and increase the positions out there. But they won't be pushing the liquidation points that much. It's a very, very important thing. So just focus on this one. We're still in accumulation. Key thing to be making 500k a day in a month from now is building proper positions in proper undervalued altcoins of this cycle. Building exposure. You have 20k long, it went up a bit, increase it, you would have like 40, 50k long. It went up, increase it, make it 100k. Set a goal, like I want to have 150k exposure to Blast, for example, and just start working on it. I gave you several entry points already. I will try to update you in time on this thing as well, but just set a goal in your mind and focus on achieving it as well. It's very, very important thing to be increasing your leverage exposure to the alts at this stage. This is where the money are made. Money are not made in meme coins currently. They're very, very short term. And most people, like, there's a very, very small percentage of people who would actually be able to keep this money out there, because there's a high chance that they would become exit liquidity for altcoin holders, leverage long in this stuff at the tops. High chance from my point of view, right? Especially when BTC dominance will essentially go even lower from here. So this is the overview on this one. We can also check out GHST that also had the pump, right? I was also talking about this for quite some time. It's still only $80 million market cap coin, which is on Coinbase, which is crazy. It's even better than Big Time, right? Because Big Time market cap is essentially larger. And yeah, the goal is also to be illiquidatable. And interesting, it's also like it also did not suffer much from BTC drop, if you think about that. That definitely shows strengths in altcoins, right? And that's why I do think that, yeah, we retested. It's very nice. We retested this level perfectly. We received crazy reaction, which means there is crazy price action. Buy pressure at these levels. I honestly expect altcoins to pump into the weekend as well. And sooner or later just start the catching up moment. And I do think that the final catch up moment will be very quick. It would be like you won't be able to get in. It will be increasing like crazy on a daily basis, right? And it will just cause like huge FOMO in the market, right? In order to understand this, we have to check out BTC dominance. I've seen something on in some meme coin chats that I'm in, like we are so back and things like this. I don't think you're back, guys. I don't think that meme coins are back, and I do like the situation. I do like that you don't trust me, that you fade me, that views are less, and like it's a very, very profitable situation for people that still keep watching this thing. Because interesting is that people definitely watch something that they want to hear. There are, for example, some people who are shorting the market heavily, who are sitting negative, like in having negative profits from the shorts, and they're re-watching some videos about the market, like going back, BTC going to $20,000, just to calm themselves. And I do understand that most of you essentially were late to meme coin game, and a bunch of you are still sitting meme coins, and that's why like you don't want to hear any meme coin FUD, and your influencers, they're telling you that yeah, we're going higher, Ethereum is breaking up. No. Only maybe Endion Blast, right, and some others. Endion Blast I was explaining because it heavily suppressed at this stage, and because Blast is flooded, and that's why I do expect certain liquidity to come into it as well. But overall, there is much more upside in altcoins, and you have to do the work currently. Let me share something with you. The way I'm seeing it is that upside in alts is infinitely higher, but the work needs to be done now. The work equals building long leverage positions at this stage. I honestly don't understand people that trade on leverage right now, when they are presented with the greatest opportunity to long something that will never get liquidated. Crazy to me, to be honest. But I think it's hard for the most to just hold the longs and have them opened all the time. Definitely stressful thing. Especially if you have to hold a high leverage long and get liquidated eventually, like my late Mavia long, for example. It was like 8 to 10x leverage that I held for 10 plus days that was constantly going sideways around my entry and got liquidated. Crazy experience to have if you think about that, haha. Yeah, it's definitely a stressful experience, and that's why it will yield. That's why it will make money, because not large amount of people can endure this type of experience, especially with the current TikTok brain where you want to switch to new things. Like, look at these Zoomers, look at these kids who are trading memes currently. They're in and out new things all day, every day, because they just need this stimul to have in the brain, and they will underperform it heavily. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And something I just said to myself, I finally do not feel like gambling. This is crazy if you think about that. Because if you don't feel like you are gambling, you're making money finally. Investments, they should be not like funny, they should not be like satisfactory, they should be boring, and you should feel stressed and fear. This is how you're essentially making money, right? If you're gambling, if you're in euphoria, and things like that, it might come to a certain stage, right? But this is not how you make money. This is how you maybe entertain yourself and have some nice free time out there as well. So I'm expecting BTC dominance to continue to drop, and interesting thing is that I do expect, obviously, that with the next drop we really will see the movements on alts out there. We would really see it, and the key is to position currently. If you don't want to use high leverage, because probably a lot of the guys you were essentially liquidated on high leverage the same way I was yesterday, just enter the alts of this cycle, new alts. Yeah, you would have to wait, you would have to maybe endure some FUD, but this is like, did you think it would be easy? Did you think you just leverage loan, it will instantly go like 100x? Check out what Carl the Moon had to do with this XRP loan. He entered $1.6 million in leverage loan out there. It was 220k on 8x leverage. At XRP at the price of 0.61, it was very degenerate. It was seen as very degenerate on the marketplace at the time. And he was not only able to enter, because a lot of people, they definitely entered at this stage. Maybe some of you guys even did. He was actually able to hold. And most people out there, maybe they closed at $1 or 1.5, $2. He specifically closed at the top, not following kind of like these his personal thoughts that, wow, maybe it's enough, yeah, it pumped already, so I'm taking my profits and I'm repositioning into some fucking meme coin and losing everything. Nah, he just checked out the sentiment, he checked out the chart, I'm closing. That's it. 5 million profits in 4 weeks. This is how the money is made in this market. Not by essentially doing something that's safe and is heavily adopted, and meme coins are heavily adopted currently. That's why like there is no upside, and then that's why they go into zero, and that's why influencers who are luring you into meme coins, they're taking your money and they're just leverage longing your money themselves with altcoins out there. This is something that like you have a choice. It's like you either fuck your wife or you let someone else fuck your wife, right? So it's the same thing. You either buy into meme coins. No. You either loan leverage alts or other people are loan leveraging alts with your money, right? There is a bunch of cuckold in this space, right? And that's why like it's something that is heavily accepted, I think, in the world currently. And that's why and that's something that many men essentially would essentially love to do, even if they can't accept it. But intrinsically they actually know that they would love the favorite influencer to actually fuck the wife, and that's why they're allowing him to leverage loan his alts with their money, right? But don't be like these guys, right? Because if you're on this market to let someone else fuck your wife, which is equals to leverage loan alts with your money when you're losing that many meme coins, like it's not the purpose to be on this market. And I just like, if you're here for this purpose, I just want you to essentially understand this, realize this, and change as well. All right. I hope that we won't be entering uptrend on BTC dominance at this stage. We should be not. However, we might be seeing like some more meme coin stuff happening in the shorter term, because like from the manipulator's point of view, from the market maker's point of view, I love 100% what is happening currently. It's just played very, very well. They are really getting people out of alts. They're making them to close longs. Even people who are opening low leverage longs, they're closing them, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. They actually making people to do that. And at the same time, they pump meme coins back to get you into meme coins. And by the way, like if you're playing in memes with a certain percentage of your portfolio and you're profitable, no issues. It's just very, very important for you to understand that you need to take profits, and you need to put these profits in low leverage alts, conservative if you're afraid in the first place. But in general, even if you're not afraid, this is probably the smart thing to do, just to enter conservative 2 to 3x leverage, wait until the coin will go higher, and when you're essentially illiquidatable at this stage, and re-enter, like not re-enter, but increase the margin out there. Luvium is at $67 as well. I'm long in this one as well. I hope we won't be going lower, because like I'm on high leverage here. Don't like the current situation as well, but yeah, in general, I don't think that alts should be, yeah, Illuvium actually just repeats the chart of Ethereum out there. I don't think we should be going significantly lower from here. I do think that alts should continue the pumpage into the weekend as well. So yeah, guys, this is the overview. Just focus on holding your positions at this stage. Try to get some more leverage on longs. Make sure you won't be liquidated. Don't be greedy as well, because you might be wasting like initial upside. But anyway, if you enter on low leverage and coins go higher, you'll just be able to add almost infinite amount of money to your longs. But you would already have a very, very nice initial entry point, a very, very low initial liquidation point, which would make sure that you'll be entering with way better essential liquidation and entry points a bit later as well, right? So that's essentially the proper thing to do. Meme coin casino might continue for a bit currently. If we will be receiving a larger reversal of BTC dominance, and if we're going to the target of 58%, that was shown in some previous videos. If something like this would be happening, we'll definitely see a sudden run on meme coins, but they're going way lower after it, 100%. And yeah, I do believe alts are the play currently. And as mentioned, in order to be able to make 500k a day in some months from now, you have to do the work currently. This is where you're doing the work, and it's already kind of late if you think about that, because best time to do the work was 1 month ago, because on 1st of November, majority of alts, they were at the generational local bottoms out there, majority of them. So this was essentially the time to really do this work. But over like the cycle wise, on most of alts, we're still in accumulation at this stage. Like on average, they're up 2 to 3x from the bottoms, which is nothing, right? And way more liquidity should be coming into alts as well, because all this digital meme coin space, it's also going to go into alts, because liquidity is going into alts, because people would want to buy fundamentals, that they would want to buy utility. And you know, there are some like meme coins, let's say like a $300 million market cap, and there are some utility plays at like 60 million, for example, that have teams, they have investments, they have working products, they have things happening for them. And some people might be saying like, well, like my meme coin is actually larger in market cap than like this utility project of yours. But don't you see the issue in that? Don't you see the issue that they are overpriced heavily at this stage? They pretty much have nothing besides like behind them, just marketing out there. I think it's a huge issue, right? And previously it was fine, because we did not have BTC at 100k, and we did not have a clear reversal on the dominance, right? But dominance did set up high already, And I told you about this in advance, and the situation is way different currently, all right? So this is something I want you to understand as well. What are the things that are overpriced and what are the things that are underpriced as well? And we have a bunch of utility projects out there with like proper teams with millions of dollars in investments, multiple things they're working on, real development teams and stuff, and they are like at like $20-30 million in market cap, right? And like any meme coin, like it's going to like 50, 100 right away. This is the issue. This is the market inefficiency that will get solved quite soon. It's just that like it's such a beautiful, it's a work of art. How the market makers are moving this thing is just the work of art at this stage. Like I'm just a huge fan of this. Like I'm seeing and I'm trying to understand this game on a daily basis. It's just so beautiful. Like I'm getting heart watching on all how they are moving the charts, how they're working with sentiments. It's crazy. So yeah, this is it, guys. I will probably take a couple of days off currently, so probably there won't be videos in the upcoming couple of days, right? But yeah, I pretty much told you everything that you need to know. My expectation is that alts will continue to pump through the weekend and we essentially continue upwards from there as well. Thank you very much for watching this one. Stay healthy and rich, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.